What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Let's have a little bit of a conversation really quickly because I've had some clips that go viral, and it seems like every month there's something that I do either on the Lapeef Network or the Millionaire Morning Show or here, or even in an interview with Charleston White or something like that that goes viral. But recently, I've been getting tagged a lot and a lot of the different clips for the Lapeef Network. Now, I've been kicking some hyenas off the panel. I've been really going in on the community, both black men and black women. But here's one thing that I've noticed. When it's on black men, or when it's on men in general, whether it's on Fight Club or anything, when it's on men in general, nobody bats an eye. Nobody blinks, nobody trips. And of course, there's going to be some men that simp out, but to a larger extent, when men catch their L's or when I hold men accountable or when I go off on men, they just take it. It just be like, you know what? Let me book a coaching call. Let me figure out what it's going to be, how it is that we should move, so on and so forth. But when it's on women, the number one thing that I hear from women specifically, and I like to read the comments because it gives me a sense of the people that don't really know me, how they feel about the message specifically, and it teaches me more about the person than what the clip actually really means, right? And so what women will say, who hurt you? That is the number one comment when you hold women accountable, especially when you're passionate. It's the number one comment when you hold women accountable. It's the thing that they say the most. Who hurt this man, right? Now here's a caveat. Here's one of the beautiful things about this whole situation. It's hard to be able to use that argument against somebody like me, right? Because then you'd have to really consider the fact that I was raised in a two-parent household. I've never, ever had any issues with regard to relationships. I don't have any issues with my father or my mother. They were my best friends. Well, my father was my best friend because I was under my father and he was a really strong man. I don't know divorce. So all of my uncles, and literally it's like 8 or 9 of them on my grandmother's side and then both on my father's side. My mother and my father was married until he passed away and she was widowed, and then she got remarried within a few years to a dude that's very similar to my father, who was an alpha male. I'm doing really well in life. I mean, when I say really well, I am the top 1% as far as earners, career, corporate America, I did phenomenally well, business, awesome, content creation, popping, web development, up there, own a large portion of real estate. I contribute back into my community, meaning that the people that I mentor the most are young guys between the ages of 14 and 24. I travel the world. I have a phenomenal group of networking people that I actually rock with. Shout out to my bag chasers and my Patreon. If you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you tap into that because we got some incredible information for you to be able to lean into in order to continue to better yourself. I got the Millionaire Morning Show where I give people the game and to make sure that they absolutely positively level up and become the best version of themselves. I married the girl that was my best friend in high school. I got married when I was 22 years old. I'm 40 today. I'm about to be married for close to 19 years in June. I have an awesome daughter. I have no kids out of wedlock. I have not cheated. I'm absolutely in a great space, and my wife is probably the best person in the entire world. Took her virginity, as a matter of fact. I am the prototype of how we should be moving within the black community. I did not move away from my community. My office, which I am here in Metro Detroit, is downtown. I went to school in this community, right? I pour back in my community. I love my community. I hire black women. More black women work for me than black men. Yes, I am the employer. I am the person that loan the money. I'm not the person that take out loans. I own 17 properties. I have no debt whatsoever. I own them 100% outright. I just paid $163,000 towards the last mortgage in order to be able to pay it off. I am in an incredible position. So let's throw away the narrative of who hurt you out the window so that we can then start to have the conversation with the black community and solve for the problems and then actually pay attention to the message instead of deflecting, trying to throw something on the messenger. Just because we're passionate about the thing that we talk about does not mean that we're hurt. It means that I'm passionate about seeing the community do better because I spend an overwhelming majority of my time trying to pour into the people that don't give a fuck about it. Black women. When I went viral by saying that the biggest enemy against the black man is the black woman, and they've been a bigger enemy than any kind of racism or anything that the black man has faced in his entire career, I meant it. But I didn't mean it because it came from a place of hurt. I mean it because it's the truth. And I don't know when we're going to start to have the conversation based off of the message and truth and stop trying to attack the messenger. One of the beautiful things about this conversation, and the reason why I love it coming to me, is because you can't use that argument on me. There's been a lot of people that come before me that you can then tear down their character and you can say, well, he not married, or he got divorced, or his woman left him, or he got a kid out of wedlock, and so on and so forth. But I've largely lived my life without spot, wrinkle, or blemish. As a matter of fact, I love God. I am the man that I would want my daughter to marry. Now, I'm not saying this to big myself up because I do enough of that on the internet anyway. And the reason why I say that and I hammer this into people's heads is because it's important for us to do the background work to better understand exactly who our heroes are. We have none. But now that you have a person that's speaking truth, that has a platform, that's not on no pookie shit, that's not falling into a space to where they can then be tore down by people that say, who hurt you? And instead of people and women, specifically black women, taking accountability for the space that they're in and the environment that they created, especially when it comes to feminism, we want to put the blame and the hurt back onto the man as though we're operating out of pain and there's something wrong with us. At what point do we start to take accountability and responsibility for the space that we put our sons and our daughter in? Because my daughter is in a phenomenal space. My wife, beautiful. I'll be taking a flight out tomorrow. I fly first class everywhere that I go. I got the best cars. Let me see what car I drove down here today. I don't even know if I got my keys with me. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I drove my Porsche today. I drove the electric Taycan. Yeah, I stun on people sometimes because it's important to do that to let them know, who the fuck you talking to? Who you talking to? Nobody hurt me. As a matter of fact, I take that back. You know who hurt me? You. Because every time that I try to come back and I pour back into my community, which I don't have to, and I have these conversations to make sure that I'm adding as much value as I possibly can, and I try to hold you accountable based off of the love, because I truly want you to do better and you're not listening, you hurt me. You are the problem. You are the issue with the black community. I said what I meant and I meant what I said. The biggest enemy to the black man is the black woman. We can change that. It can be completely different. But the one thing that you got to do, and the very first thing that you have to do is stop fucking saying who hurt you. For real.